If you're a homeowner in Canada and you plan on substantially renovating your home, then this video is for you. So whether you plan on doing the work yourself, or if you're a contractor and your clients are gonna do this, or you're a realtor and your clients plan on buying a fixer-upper, you're gonna wanna check this out. I'm going to talk about how you can get up to $24,000 in a rebate back from the government. Quick disclosure, I am not an accountant. I'm going to be providing you with information and ideas, not advice. So don't try and come and sue me or some bullshit, all right? Today I'm going to be talking about the GST/HST new housing rebate. So if you're a Canadian resident and you own a home, or you plan on buying a new home or substantially renovating a home, I'm going to tell you how you can get some moolah back from the government. Now, it's not too often you're going to find the government going around and putting on billboards. Look at this big fat check you can get from us on a rebate. So that's the main reason why I'm putting this video out, is to inform you about this. Now it's going to be up to you to do your own digging and research. So the guide is called RC4028. Google that, give it a read. It's a 40-page document. Yes, it's dry. Yes, it's boring, but hey, if it can make you some money, check it out. So my wife and I, we purchased a home in Toronto and we did substantially renovate it. To meet those requirements, major changes have to be made to meet the definition of a substantial renovation. In a major renovation project, the interior of a house essentially has to be gutted. So 90% of the home has to be renovated. So if you plan on just doing an addition, or if you plan on just doing a kitchen remodel, or just a bathroom remodel, and the rest of the home is not going to be touched, unfortunately, you will not qualify for this. So what we ended up doing is we gutted our entire main floor and we gutted the entire basement, and we turned the single family home into a legal duplex. So we ended up renting out the basement. It was owner occupied home and we lived in the main floor. We planned on living here for a few years, only turned into like maybe 2.5 years. Plans changed, and I'll touch on how that kind of affected us and ended up being a pain with getting this rebate. Some other things I want to touch on is this has to be your primary place of residence. So primary residence. So if you own two homes, say you own a cottage and your own personal residence, you cannot substantially renovate your cottage unless that on paper is your personal residence and be qualified to meet this. And I'm not going to be touching on the other portions. So if you're getting a new home or a builder is building you a home, there's also rebates you can qualify for, but I'm not going to touch on that because I don't know much about it, because I haven't done any research on it. I just researched the part that I can benefit from, which is the 90% renovations. You have to file within 2 years from 90% completion. Now that I do not really get. So why would you want to file within 2 years of 90% completion? Wouldn't you want the whole project completed, then you file, so you can claim all of your HST that you're entitled to? And I'll touch on how that kind of messed with us later on. And you have to make sure that you keep all your documents throughout this process, including your receipts, and you cannot have any photocopies of receipts. You have to keep these on file for 6 years in case you were audited. So the main documents that you're gonna have to fill out are the GST/HST new housing rebate application for owner-built house, and also the construction summary worksheet. So the construction summary worksheet that they give you, it's just like an Excel spreadsheet. Probably can't see it. I'll pop it up on the screen right here. Now, what my wife and I did is we created our own template for this, because, so for example, line item 3 is architect and design, or line item whatever 30 is landscaping. I'm just making that up, but there's a bunch of subcategories, and then what you have to do is place, so you have description of goods and service, vendor's name, vendor's business number, so their GST or HST number, the invoice date, invoice number, labor, material, you have to put a check mark there, the invoice amount, then the HST paid at 13%, and we also added notes just to make it easier for us. So how it works is the HST, which is 13%, you can get up to 3/4 of that back up to a cap. So in Ontario, the cap is $24,000. So what we have done is we created our own template, And if you'd like this, I'll be nice enough to share it with you for free. You don't got to sign up for my ebook or some bull crap like that. There's no gimmicks. I'll put my email address in the description, like the information bar below. Just look in there. My email address will be there. Shoot me an email and I will send you our Excel template. So what I do now going forward for any major renovations is we have a binder created for each project. So just to give you an example of the last project that we did, that is all the receipts. It's ridiculous. But it's nice. Everything's organized in one place. So at the beginning, we just have a table of contents just showing. So number 1 is land purchase. Number 2 is general contractor. 3 is architecture and engineering, so on and so on. And then under each tab, we have all of our receipts in there and organized. So they say it takes up to 6 months to get your rebate back once you've submitted it. For us, I think we got a letter back within maybe 2 or 3 months, and it was an awesome letter. I opened it up and it said, you do not qualify, or sorry, you have not met the requirements for your substantially renovated property. That was pretty much it. It was pretty cut and dry. And then it said, if you want to appeal this, you can appeal it. And I also had to write a letter as to why we're appealing it. And then it says it may take up to 9 months to get a reply back from the appeals process because, you know, CRA, they're very busy people. Yeah, they're very busy people. So then we get a call back from the appeals office. This was maybe 3 months after we mailed that back to them. And the lady was very nice, thankfully, because let's be honest, sometimes these people that you get on the phone with the CRA, they're not the most pleasant people to talk with or deal with. But this lady was amazing. And she said that she was looking in the notes and she can't see any reason why we did not meet the requirements. And the original agent who looked at our file, didn't state why we didn't meet those requirements. And all I have to say to that original agent is I would love for him to be at our house a few years ago on Valentine's Day when I had the entire ceiling down, drywall ceiling, insulation everywhere. And my girlfriend at the time comes home, sick as a dog, crying, pissed off because I'm supposed to be out on a nice dinner or something because it's Valentine's Day. And the house was a mess. She couldn't even live there. I would love for that agent to say to my wife that day, or my girlfriend at the time, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am, your house isn't 90% renovated. Good luck, son, having to deal with her. So this other agent that we ended up dealing with, the appeals office, she was awesome. So she was dealing with my wife at the time and said, everything is fine, so I'm going to process this. And then 2 days later, calls back and says, oh, we see that you have moved, because we did. Shortly after we finished the renovations, this was our primary residence. We ended up finding another house that we really liked, and it was a great deal, so we jumped on that. We already finished the renovations at our current project, but what my wife did is she put the final date was only like maybe a few days before our closing, and so now they were saying because of that, we didn't meet the requirements. But a lot of the major renovations were done way prior to that. So then we ended up having to go back to our receipts and seeing when basically the kitchens were done, because that's what they consider the major renovations done, is usually when a kitchen is done and you get your occupancy then. So it was a pain in the ass. So just a little bit of a warning, if you plan on going through this, expect that you will get some red tape and roadblocks, but just be persistent and don't let them get you down, because it's almost their job, even though they have these incentives for you to get these rebates and money back from the government. Let's be honest, they have huge deficits and a lot of crap to pay for, and they do not want to be giving you, even though it's a measly, whatever it is, 5 grand, 10 grand, hey, you're entitled to that. So make sure that you do all your due diligence, cover your ass, have systems in place. I'm happy to share our spreadsheet with you. And if you have any more information or any helpful stuff, just please post it in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. And really guys, utilize that comment section below. I like to get back to any questions, comments, or concerns as soon as I can, and I really want to create a community here where we can all help and all learn from each other. All right? Later.